right, so thank you everyone for joining us for Dallas Jobseekers Club. Today we will be taking a close look at the FreshStart employment program from the City of Dallas's Workforce Development Office. And with me today I have Kim Ben and Lewis Adams, who are my colleagues over there in the Office of Workforce Development, going to share a little bit with us about what FreshStart is, what resources they have available, and how people can take advantage of those resources. We will have time for questions and answers at the end. So if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and I will make sure that we address them when we have time to. So at this point, I will turn it over to Kim. Thank you again so much for being here to share this information with us. I look forward to what you have to say.
Thank you so much, Heather, and we appreciate the invitation to address you guys and all of those assembled here today. Let me just start off giving a little brief overview of the Fresh Start Employment Program. So the initiative of the program is to assist, I'm just going to be paraphrasing what you see on your screen. So the program is designed to assist individuals who have infractions on their criminal background due to arrest, incarceration, any type of offense that may have become a barrier to you attaining full-time stable employment. And we've generally seen individuals who have this issue, they have to work for temp agencies, or they're popping from day job to day job daily. But this program will assist anyone who wants to become a part of this program with full-time and stable employment. So we engage the community, such as the program that we're working with right now with the library. Anyone who believes that they need our help to get employment, they will contact Fresh Start, go to the website, and apply. So the matrix basically dictates if anyone was formerly incarcerated, the release would have to be a minimum of 1 year. Any type of, if you were not incarcerated, then any type of arrest or offense on your background within that same calendar year would also qualify you. So we reach out to the communities who work with the returning citizen demographic, or anyone that's having difficulty with employment. They refer those candidates to us, or you can also self-refer, meaning contact us, go to the website, contact anyone in the city. They will direct you accordingly. The Fresh Start staff consists of myself, I'm the program manager, and Mr. Lewis Adams, who is the senior program case manager. Lewis, he engages all of our clients. He walks them through the process step by step. He does the pre-assessment forms. He reviews the refer form. Basically, he qualifies everybody. So he'll walk you through that entire process. I'm his backup in that regard. So if anyone has any questions on what it takes to qualify, how do I qualify, when can I qualify, Lewis is the go-to person for that. The type of jobs that we offer are all full-time active positions. Nothing is going to segregate you from being a City of Dallas employee. You are one and the same. You have to adhere to the same policies, rules, guidelines that an active City of Dallas employee has. You have no special or preferential treatment at all. Your benefits start day one. You will have on-the-job training. You will have a minimum of 6 months to year-round case management support from the program. And the qualifications for the program would be, as previously mentioned, you have to have some type of arrest or offense on your background, a minimum of 18 years of age. You have to have a valid driver's license. We have right now, Hannah, could you please put a little note down there? We are waiting to hear back from one department to see if a driver's license is required. So right now we're going to say a valid driver's license is required for all of positions within the City of Dallas. But we are waiting for one department to confirm if the driver's license requirement is needed. So what we request or require from the candidates is to complete the pre-assessment form as well as the referral form. And we ask that they send us any background that they have, so that we can kind of make a predetermination if they are eligible for the program. And we ask for that because we don't want the candidate to go through this whole process and then get to the point of being interviewed, selected, but then the background does not meet HR's requirement. So we kind of look at that information up front. And then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Adams so that he can further explain his part with the case management services.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Louis?
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, once we, as Kim mentioned, my function is kind of twofold. One is to assist the individual in obtaining employment, and two, to assist them in maintaining employment. In doing so, we provide an ongoing follow-up with the candidates once they're employed, to see how things are going on with the job, if there's any thing on the job that may affect their ability to maintain their employment, or anything outside of the job that could indirectly affect their employment, such as housing, transportation, mental health. So we want to be able to provide the necessary resources and the support systems to help them maintain that employment. Because for many of these individuals, it's been a long time, and this is new to them. And so there's certain skills, coping skills, and other assistance they'll need to help maintain employment. So we do a regular follow-up with them. If everything is going fine, great. If not, we provide the necessary services. And we do that right now. We're doing that for their first year of employment. If everything is going well for the first 6 months, then from there we go quarterly at 9 months and then 12. If there's some challenges or anything going on that may where they need more intensive services, we'll continue to work with them. One of the good things about the individuals, once they're employed as a city employee, they can transfer, promote, and the Fresh Start piece is no longer a consideration. So once they have their foot here in the door, then they are able to progress. One of the things we assist in doing prior to, I'm going back a little bit, prior to employment, is the job readiness piece. Now, prior to the pandemic, we were actually offering job readiness courses there at City Hall on a regular basis. But now what we've been doing is referring those individuals through Texas Workforce. They actually have a virtual online job readiness that is they offer some very good courses. So we're referring individuals through Workforce in order to prepare them for the necessary process in obtaining employment. And that can be anything from soft skills to resume writing to mock interviews to prepare them for interviews. Those are the basics for the case management piece. We also, I might add, we oftentimes get referrals from individuals who do not meet the criteria for a fresh start. And for those individuals, we do assess them and refer them to agencies that will be able to assist them based on their various background challenges and release dates and things such as this.
Okay, thank you, Louis. And I just want to kind of chime in a moment. We like to remind our clients that although they come through the Fresh Start program, no one else in the city is privy to that information other than the interviewing or hiring managers within that department. Your colleagues, your coworkers will not know that you are a part of this program. They will not have any information about your background unless you actually choose to share that with them. So that's something that we do like to inform our candidates. You are a City of Dallas employee. You have equal rights, equal human rights, just as every other person within the City of Dallas, within Dallas community. So there's nothing that's going to target you or put the spotlight on you just to tag or label you as a Fresh Start employee. Okay, Ms. Hannah, you have any other questions? Or we can take questions now, or if anyone, if you have anything else to add or ask.
Sure. So we do have one question in the chat here from Denise, who asks, what is the success rate for individuals keeping their employment through the Fresh Start program?
Okay, Louis?
Yes, currently we are, for those maintaining employment for 6 months or more, we're at about 60%, 69% of employment maintenance. And which is very good, particularly considering a large number of our jobs involve the general labor positions, very intensive labor positions. So typically those areas of employment already have a high turnover, and I don't know what their normal rate is, but from speaking with some of the managers in those departments, I think we're right along those same lines, those same percentages.
And just to add to that, if you come to work, and you set your eye and your work ethic and your work habit on promotional opportunity, it will happen. So your opportunity to grow within the city is very, very high. You do not have to stay within that same department. If you believe your skill set exceeds your entry-level position, then it's completely up to you to set your standard in order to promote to a higher paid position.
And do you guys, like on the case management end of things, do you also help individuals in the program with, pursuing promotions or, lateral moves or anything like that? Or is that part of the maintenance that you assist people with?
On the case management side, no. However, if there are any concerns, let's just say that if the employee goes in as a customer service agent, there is that 6-month probationary period. And it's very likely once they meet and or exceed that probationary requirement, attendance, performance, and whatever other matrix there may be, then the promotion is going to happen. And at that time, if the employee would like to transfer to another department for another position, then we expect them to already have that skill set, because we don't encourage anyone to apply for a position that they're unfamiliar with. So if they're going in as customer service, they may already have some type of administrative secretarial skills. So if they need that assistance, we are here. And if that's out of our scope of practice, then we will gladly refer them to Texas Workforce. There may be someone in HR that can assist with that, but most likely we will refer them to our contact in the Workforce Solutions for additional job readiness skills and training.
Got it. So even though you may not, provide that direct support yourself, you might refer them to somebody who can, help them get that better position that they're looking for.
Absolutely.
Right. An example, I actually received a call yesterday from one of our employees. He's actually been with us with the city for 15 months now. And although we no longer do the monthly follow-up, He called me because he had some concerns about his promotional opportunity and basically wanted some assistance in and how to go about communicating appropriately with concerns that he had with his supervisor. So the support that we provide is even when it's the time frame has ended, the continued availability and support is here for them.
Even though it may not be in that formal timeline, you're still able to,
Yeah.
give them some advice or help them along. That's great. That's great. One question I also had, I just wanted to confirm something I think I understood. As you mentioned, they may get a promotion and go on to different departments. For those interviews and those, that new setting, would any of those staff be aware that this individual is applying from be started in the Fresh Start program, or is that all kind of sealed and not available information?
It's sealed. So
Okay.
once they come in as a Fresh Start employee, but when it's time to interview for other positions, that Fresh Start is left behind.
Okay, that's great. That's great. And I do have another question here from Daisy. She asks, what are the most common positions available through Fresh Start?
Okay, common positions would be entry levels. We have customer service, office assistant, and labor B, labor 2. However, if we have a candidate who has the experience in education for a higher paid position, we have what's called the non-civil service opportunity. So typically, Fresh Start employees will only contend against other Fresh Start employees within an interview. And that's for those entry-level positions that may be posted. However, you also may see other positions online that says non-civil service positions. So if you have a degree and education to match that exceeds an entry-level position, we will also allow you, but the department must be willing to interview. But typically they are. That candidate would contend against non-Fresh Start candidates. So if I am a Fresh Start candidate, Hannah, you are a traditional candidate. We both have degrees, education, and experience to match. I'm going to contend against you for that same position. But the only difference is if I'm selected and I'm the Fresh Start candidate, my background is going to be measured on the Fresh Start matrix as opposed to the traditional matrix. So Fresh Start candidates also have the opportunity to contend against higher paid positions. That's more professional positions, if you will. They don't have to only apply an interview for entry-level positions. They can also look for the non-civil service job postings, apply to those, let us know, and then we can take it from there and possibly schedule the interview consideration.
Got it. So there's a lot of opportunity for anybody who may have,
Yes.
a background in a stronger
background,
educational or
a higher skill
work
set.
experience.
Yes.
Got it. That's great. That's great. So it's not like somebody coming in with, a college degree and 10 years of experience would need to apply for an entry level position.
Absolutely, no. They would.
Okay.
They can consider the position that has non-civil service on the back of it.
And I have another question here. Sorry, do you want to go over something else here? I've got questions coming in through the chat, but I don't want to interrupt your presentation. Okay, I'll keep. I've got a question here from Alicia. She says, "What kind of public outreach are you doing, especially with since the pandemic, and the fact that some of those who may have may have been incarcerated or are in, you know, difficult housing situations, may not have Wi-Fi access. So how are you reaching potential candidates at this point?
Kim, you want me to respond?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I'm sorry. We actually advertise through social media. So I post on LinkedIn. The City of Dallas Civil Service Department, they post on all social media platforms. So every position that the City of Dallas has available is posted on every social media platform. And it's very likely, if in fact we have a candidate is invited to interview, the option for a telephone or virtual interview is available.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, I would also add
go
that other second chance programs, we receive referral from other, not just second chance program, but other partners, other agencies actually complete the referrals for other candidates. So for those individuals who may not have access or may not have even the skills, those referrals can also come in from the other agencies, caseworkers, social workers, what have you, who can represent them and send that referral in. And then, like as Kim mentioned, sometimes we receive phone calls and I'll complete those referrals over the phone.
And if they don't have access to a mobile device or a computer, there are nearby workforce solutions, libraries that will be able to assist them with completing that process, application process, the referral process, any process that needs to complete an application for the City of Dallas. If the candidate does not have access to a mobile device, they can visit a nearby workforce solutions or the libraries.
So I know when we spoke first a few weeks ago, you had mentioned that you get referrals from, say, Unlocking Doors, who we've had a presentation from before. So, you know, they would be already working with someone and then be able to say, you know, refer them to this particular program, even if that individual may not have, you know, internet access or may not have, you know, the means to complete the application or find out about the jobs themselves. Awesome. Alicia says that's great. And then Daisy's asking, how do applicants apply for FreshStart positions? So it sounds, are they just listed on the government jobs website with the rest of the City of Dallas jobs? Okay.
And
so they would just go
this,
through that process.
Can you see the screen right now? Can you see the how to apply on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so that's every step to complete the application process.
Got it. Okay. So you did mention, I have a question, and you mentioned kind of before that, you know, other agencies or social workers might refer a candidate, or they can also self-refer. It's kind of a two-part question. I'm wondering what that self-referral looks like, and then also, you know, for those of us at the library, I know I specifically, working in the downtown branch, we would often get a lot of people in looking for jobs. And sometimes I did work with individuals who had criminal backgrounds or had just gotten out of being incarcerated. And so say that we do, as library employees, interact with a patron who has this need, and we think we might be able to point them in your direction. How do we go about doing that? How do we go about helping them get towards you?
You can give them that, you can share that overview that I sent you, but what I also do, I can just send a little card that you guys can print and distribute. And it's just going to have our program information on there and the contact information for Louis and I. And then the how to apply as well.
Okay.
And, or you can just, you can post it.
Yeah.
But the self referral aspect is if anyone's just walking around and they may hear word of mouth. Someone may give them a card, or they may be reading something online or somewhere and they see Fresh Start.
Mhm.
They're going to go to the website themselves, and then they can just click on the referral link and submit the referral themselves. So the referral is twofold. There's going to be a section for the candidate. There's going to be a section for the case manager. So we'll be able to distinguish who the referral is coming from and who completed it.
Okay. But they don't need a referral from, say, a case manager or a.
Oh, no.
Okay. Mm-mm. Got it. Okay. Well, that's great. That's one less hurdle for people to jump through. I love it. I have another question here from Denise. She asks, do you have individuals who are on probation? And if so, do you interact with the probation officer?
Louis?
Yes, we do have individuals that are on probation and parole, and or parole. And we do, we receive that initial referral from them. And then if there's an interview or a hiring process or an offer, then we follow up with them at that time, and doing the process of their employment. But it's for the most part, other than after the referral, the follow-up doesn't really take place until the person is employed, the ongoing communication.
Got it.
And I see I can answer another question.
Okay.
Someone is asking if there are any crimes that would prevent individuals from being a part of the Fresh Start program. And those would include aggravated felony assaults and sexual assault crimes and animal cruelty.
For individuals that have committed those crimes, do you have resources for where they might, are you able to provide resources for where they might be able to find employment other than in the city of Dallas?
Yes, that would be an example where we use other second chance programs that we collaborate with.
Fantastic. Okay, that's great. So even if somebody comes to you and you're not able to necessarily help them, you have a lot of resources at your disposal to say, hey, you might try this place over here, and they can assist you.
Right.
Yes.
And just for an example, I'm sorry, Louis, go ahead.
Right. Oh, I was just going to say, oftentimes we receive referrals from for individuals who have not been released for that 1 year period that's required by Fresh Start. So that's probably the highest percentage of individuals who will refer to agencies who assist individuals with what we call off the bus, individuals who have just been released. There are programs that cater to those individuals. And some of those programs actually refer to us for individuals who have maintained, been released for that year plus.
Thank you, Louis. And just as an example, I was actually in my building. I actually live downtown, and I was working downstairs, and he actually overheard me talking. So I asked him, like, well, what's on your background? And what he mentioned was aggravated. So I immediately said, well, unfortunately, we can't help you, but I did refer him to an organization called RBCA, and that's the Black Regional Contractors Association. Within a week, because he actually followed up with me, within a week, he was enrolled in a construction course, and where he has I think a $400 a week stipend. And once he completes the course, then he'll be making $18 an hour. So if we can't help, we have resources to refer clients in order to be able to actually become employed and make a living wage.
Right. Not just a minimum wage, but an actual living wage. That's great.
It's a minimum $18, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take this opportunity, especially since Kim mentioned RBCA. We have actually, we have 4 candidates who will be making their initial appointment with RBC on next week, because they're offering through that program a 8-week heavy equipment operator training, and the training it's for 8 weeks. It pays $50. It's a $50 a week stipend. They provide lunch. They provide gas vouchers and bus passes, and these are for heavy equipment operators, and where they can help with placement. And we're talking $60,000 a year jobs. So we've had about 4 individuals out of the ones that we've sent that information out to, who are scheduled to begin that follow-up next week.
That's great. That's great. I have another question about you mentioned it has to be a year since they've, been out of prison, or can you explain a little bit more about that timeline? Does that mean that it can only have been a year? If it's been, several years in the past, can they still get assistance from you? What does that look like?
Yes, so a minimum of 1 year, whether they've served an entire year, and from the date of release, it would have to be 1 calendar year before they would be considered for employment, whether they've been released or have any offense. If the arrest or offense is beyond 7 years, depending on the type of the crime and the conviction, it's very likely they'll be able to apply through the front door as a traditional client, as a traditional employee. But for us, if a minimum of 1 year, not greater than 7, because if it's greater than 7, they will not be able to, they won't be eligible for the program. So if they had an offense on there for petty theft, and it happened 7.5 years ago, they can apply for a traditional position with the city and have no barrier at all. We don't accept pending cases, active warrants. Anything else, Lois? Pending cases, active warrants, or disqualifiers, and anything else?
I think that covers it.
Yeah, okay. So if they have a pending case or an active warrant, those are immediate disqualifiers. And if once again, if the conviction is beyond 7 years, 7 years, 1 month, 7 years, 2 months, feel free to apply for a regular position with the city of Dallas without any barriers.
That's great. That's great. Anything else, either from people in the audience here, any other questions, or anything else here from you, Kim or Lewis, that we haven't covered that you want to make sure that we know about this program?
Yes, one most important thing, and I just thought about it. Be very open, honest, and transparent when you are completing the application. If you do not have a degree, do not say you have a degree. If you did not attain your high school diploma, do not say you've attained your high school diploma, because we will check. And there's a button on there that said a little option to select graduated or enrolled, I believe. If you did not graduate, if you walked across the stage and got your diploma and you're able to go back to that institution and or request your official transcript, if you can do that, yes, you graduated. If you cannot do that, do not say you graduated when in fact you didn't. That will falsify your application and you will be banned from applying to the city of Dallas.
And that is so important, because there have been individuals who've done that and the job for which they're applying may not even require what they're saying that they completed. So they've lost out on a job by putting something on an application that didn't even need to be falsified.
Right.
Correct word, need to be, but yeah. One other thing I'd like to add is, because I don't know if we have it on the site, the other thing that is required is 6 months of stable housing. And we like to emphasize the fact, the reason for that is because we don't have the intensive case management wraparound services that would be most beneficial to those who are recovering from homelessness. I don't know where the Office of Homeless Solutions are with that right now, but I know at one point they were discussing a similar program that would cater to our individuals who are recovering from homelessness.
It's an important distinction to make. Thank you.
Mhm.
A question to follow up on the, falsifying information on the application. If say they were, they were obviously did not get that position because you were unable to verify it, and you found they had falsified it, would they be able to apply for later positions? Say a month, a year later, or anything like that?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. Do you notify the individual like that of the situation?
HR would. I mean, we're
Okay.
going to be informed, but
Right.
the initial contact will be made from HR. They're going to tell us. Then that HR representative is going to reach out to the candidate, and then we will follow up as well.
Okay.
And provide additional resources for them.
Good. That's great.
And
Anything?
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. I'm just thinking. I'm just going through the application in my head, and it's very important. They would like to see, the hiring manager would like to see as much relevant experience as possible on the applications. Be very detailed, very, very detailed. And just a little hint, you can jot it down, just a little tip. In order, there's when you're applying through the ATS, the applicant tracking system, the computer is your first set of eyes. So the computer is going to pick up on the hot words that's already listed in the job description and match it to what the candidate submitted on their application. If the computer does not think the candidate or the applicant is qualified, it's going to automatically shut it down. So just thoroughly read through the job descriptions, essential functions, everything on that application, and just kind of tweak your wording, not verbatim, but just kind of tweak the wording to match or mirror what the position is asking for. And that's the sure way to get your application past the computer in order for a human eye to see it. And when you are listing your experience, don't embellish. I mean, your general experience will be fine. Because once you get on the job, you're going to have on-the-job training. But what you want to do is have enough relevant information that's going to score you an interview. And that's where we try to get our candidates to the interview stage.
Right. Once you can actually talk to another human being instead of feeding your words into an algorithm.
Yep, correct.
Familiar with that, with that struggle. Yeah, for sure. All right. Any other questions? Thank you for all of this extremely helpful information, Kim
Absolutely.
and Lewis.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
You're welcome.
great to learn about all of the resources, not only that you have, but that you are able to provide to other people, to other agencies and organizations. I know when I was working directly with library patrons, when we were open to the public, I would always encourage people to, send an email or make a phone call, because you never know who another person knows. You never know what other resources they might be able to point you towards. And it's great to hear that you guys are no different, and you have a lot of other organizations in your network that you can direct people to. That's great.
Yes.
That's great. All right. Well, it looks like, is there anything that we're missing, Kim or Lewis, that we need to touch on, or have we pretty much covered the basics of the program?
Yeah, just know my background is HR, and I started in HR with the city, so I'm very familiar with the processes. And I am more than willing, Heather, if any of your candidates or clients need assistance, I can be the first stop. And if I can assist them, then I will refer them to someone within HR or at the Workforce Solutions. But most likely I'll be able to answer any HR related questions they have regarding the program.
That's great. Okay. That's great to know. All right. If you wouldn't mind, Kim, I'm going to share my screen here at the end just to let people know about our future programs.
Okay.
So if you want to stop sharing your screen.
Okay, stop, pause sharing. Okay, there we go.
Awesome. Let me just pull this up. I want to thank all of you for joining us today for Dallas Jobseekers Club. We have our next Dallas Jobseekers Club is going to be on the 18th with Jewish Family Service. And they are going to be discussing scams to be aware of when you're job searching and how to be careful and keep yourself safe while applying online. I'm really excited to hear from them. I always have quality presentations and really great information. I also want to make sure you all know about our upcoming professional development series on in-demand soft skills with our career coach, Christine Horstman. She's taking a look at the soft skills that are most in demand by employers as listed by LinkedIn, and taking a look at a few of them to see how you as an employee can refine those to better your own career. So I will, when I send out the email with the follow-up information from today's meeting, I'll send out the links to register for both of these great programs coming up. And of course, all this can be found on our webpage, where we also have an archive of all of our events that are recorded, including today's. You'll be able to sign up for our newsletter and look at a bunch of job leads that we have listed up on our virtual job board. So we are so thankful that you stopped by Dallas Jobseekers Club today. And that's all I have. Thank you so much, Kim and Ben. Kim and Lewis. That's your first and last name. I'm just looking wrong at the names. Thank you, Kim and Lewis, for sharing some great information with us. And with that, I think that's all I have. Have a great day, everybody.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.